Let's welcome him in right now. He represents the 21st Congressional District. Congressman Chip Roy. Congressman, welcome in. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great. How are y'all?
We're great, sir.
Fantastic.
And we understand you're going to the border today, along with Texas Land Commissioner Dawn Buckingham. What are you expecting today from your appearance at the border?
Well, hopefully you can hear me all right. I'm near Alice, Texas, en route to going down to Rio Grande City, where you're correct. I'll be joining Dawn Buckingham, good friend of mine, because of her efforts as land commissioner, of course, working in conjunction with the rest of the state leadership. She has, they've procured another 1,400 acres of some ranch land down along the border. And they're going to be able to use that for at least one purpose, if not two, to be able to build more wall fencing along the border in conjunction with the feds or through the state funding. And secondly, to be able to offer that land, if needed, to the federal government and any other land. And Dawn has been very clear about that to the extent that we have state land available for the feds to be able to work in conjunction with Texas to make sure that we're engaging in the deportations that will be necessary to undo the damage of the Biden administration, that they'll be able to do that. And that's the theme. We're now going to be able to undo the damage that has been foisted upon the American people and Texans in particular with the Biden open border policies.
Now, Congressman Roy, this is Mr. T. This mass deportation that is going to take place in day one of the Trump administration, logistically, how is that going to work?
Well, I'm not going to get in front of my friends there. Tom Homan is a very good friend. He's the border czar, as picked by President Trump. And in fact, Tom is going to be also down at the border the next couple of days with Governor Abbott. They're going to be visiting with, I believe, some National Guard and Border Patrol and other folks. But Tom's a good friend. I'm not going to get in front of him, but I'll just say this. Number one, it's not rocket science. We just need to, one, enforce the law, restore the directive, funding, and resources for ICE to do its job of actually engaging in interior enforcement and removals. Number two, yes, you can use the military to facilitate transportation, to facilitate activities at the border. That's not a violation of some, posse comitatus or anything else. You can use those resources. Thirdly, Congress can provide additional resources to engage quickly. There are 1 million people who already have orders for removal in the United States, and we're not removing them because the Biden administration refuses to do it. So on day one, there's 1 million people that can be removed under existing lawful orders. We know that there were some 2 million gotaways over the last 4 years. We go find those folks. We know there are known criminals or known or suspected terrorists. Get those folks and get not needing to be incarcerated, get them out of the country. So there's a lot of stuff we can do right out of the gate. But we got to be very clear. Removals are not just for criminals. Removals are because Biden administration violated the law, endangered the American people, and they've now put millions of people into the social welfare state of the United States, which is a burden being carried by Texans, in particular, in our schools, our hospitals, and our social welfare state. So we've got to do this. We've got to do it humanely, but swiftly.
He is Congressman Chip Roy on the way to the border as we speak, where he will join Texas Land Commissioner Dawn Buckingham. And Congressman, you mentioned not just for criminals to remove these illegals in America and in Texas. I read an article in the San Antonio Express News a few days ago, and there seemed to be a difference of opinion between you and Republican Representative Tony Gonzalez, who we speak to frequently as well. It seems that Representative Gonzalez wants to focus on criminals being removed, and your position is if you're illegal, you should be removed. Is that accurate? And do you think that your position will be the one that will be pursued more vigorously by the incoming administration?
Well, I don't want to speak for Tony, and Tony's a friend, and we work well together in Washington, but, we occasionally have differences of opinion. And on this particular point, again, whatever his view is, I'll let him speak to. My view is pretty simple. There were millions of people who were illegally and illegitimately leased into the United States by the Biden administration. These are not just people. I think most people are catching on. Most Americans are catching on to the point that these are not people that just walked across the Rio Grande. They were specifically released into the country in violation and misuse of our parole and asylum laws. As a result, the entire world believes that they can just come to the United States. There are people that are on the waiting list. There are people that have followed the law and they're getting passed over. In addition, dangerous people have been dumped into the country. But I believe that the Trump administration recognizes the need to reestablish the rule of law and also reset our entire country's, misrepresentation that we can't have jobs filled by Americans. We've got to stop pushing a welfare state that is making it to where Americans can't get jobs or they're being paid not to work. And then businesses are saying, well, we got to get labor from somewhere. Meanwhile, guys, we have 51.5 million foreign-born people in our country, the highest percentage in the history of our country. We have got to reestablish the rule of law, reset the zone, hold and freeze even legal immigration, figure out who's here, deport people, and reset the whole map. Now, yeah, I'm fine focusing on criminals. Get them out. But focus on the people who also came here were gotaways or absconders, but also people who were released into our country who are not criminals, who are right now forcing your tax dollars to go up in your state, in your jurisdiction, in your county, your schools, your hospitals, your police force. We've got to reset the table.
Congressman Chip Roy, we thank you for your time. Safe travels to the border, and we hope to talk with you more on this issue. Have yourself and your family a happy Thanksgiving, Congressman.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys. Appreciate what y'all do. God bless.
Thank you.
God bless you. Thank you so much. Representative Chip Roy, we'll be talking with him on the other side of Thanksgiving, and we'll keep an eye on his appearance at the border today with Texas Land Commissioner Don Buckingham.